Hey folks, Suzanne here with Real Lady Adventures, and yes, I know that it has been a while since I've been on camera. I am currently without a kayak, but not for long. We're going to get into that in a minute. We're getting ready to start a new journey in my kayak fishing, and I'm really looking forward to this. It's a new kayak, but I wanted to give some background since a lot of you are new to my channel. Who am I? Where have I been in all this kayaking stuff? And so I wanted to give a little bit of background about that. So stay tuned. Okay, so yes, I am starting a new journey in my kayak fishing channel. I am going to be putting a lot more content out here coming soon. And the reason for this is because I am getting another new kayak. And you might be wondering, if you have been following, why is it such a big deal that she's getting another new kayak now? She's been through 8 kayaks in the last 6 years, something like that. This one's going to be kind of special, and I'm going to talk about that. But first, I wanted to give a little bit background of my kayak and kayak fishing journey. So I started kayaking about 16 years ago, touring kayaks mostly up in New England, rivers, lakes, ocean. I had the Wilderness System Tsunami 140. I loved that kayak. That was my very first kayak, and I loved it. I had that thing for about 10 years before I finally sold it. Moved here to Texas. Really didn't know the whole kayaking situation down here, so got rid of that kayak. Fast forward a little bit, 2020. I am introduced to somebody who is very much into kayak fishing, and I thought, why not? I've done fishing. I've fished since I was a kid, and I've done kayaking, so why not put them together? So my first fishing kayak was the Old Town Big Water 132. I didn't know one fishing kayak from another, so it was great. It held everything. For me, I felt it was pretty stable, but it was very big. It was fast in the water, but it was also kind of clunky because it was so big, it was so heavy. So ended up selling that one and got the Hobie PA12. Also big, also clunky, but it had the fin drive, and that was new for me. And we fish in a lot of really grassy areas, and that fin drive was amazing. And I'm probably going to upset a lot of people about this, but I did not like the Hobie PA12. I hated the seat. That was the most uncomfortable seat of any kayak I have ever sat in since. Okay? It was just horrible. So sold the PA12 and what did I get next? Oh, got the Outback. I think to this day, the Hobie Outback is probably my favorite fishing platform ever. Okay. I do really like it. Yes, it has a slightly narrower cockpit, but that thing was fast in the water. It was easy to rig. It was very easy to maneuver as well. You know, again, if you're out in the wind and all of that and on a big lake, you want to be able to maneuver around, especially if you need to get around patches of grass and hydrilla and all of that stuff. So Hobie Outback, loved that kayak, sold it. Again, I don't even remember why I sold it. I think we were kind of moving away from kayak fishing, or we thought we were, and that didn't happen. So we ended up getting a pair of Hobie compasses. Didn't like that. Didn't have it, but for a couple of months. It didn't have the reverse pedal on it, so that just didn't work for me. Got rid of the Hobie compass. Somebody's going to be very happy with it. It's just not for me. Also wasn't as stable as what I was used to. And when you're out fishing, you really don't want that instability. You want something that's really going to hold you solid. Anyways, after the Hobie compass, I went back to Old Town and I got the Old Town PDL 120. That was great. I did like the PDL 120. I felt it was up there on par with the Outback. It was stable, it was fast in the water, it was easily maneuverable, easy to maneuver, and it had, it was easy to rig. I had spots for everything that I needed. It was a great kayak. I did not like the propeller drive. So the Old Towns have a propeller drive, the Hobies have a fin drive. I still did not like the propeller drive because we do fish in a lot of grassy areas, and that is just one of those things that to me is a royal pain in the butt. So sold the Old Town 120 and ended up back in Hobie, and I got the Hobie Lynx. Now, the Hobie Lynx is probably my second favorite fishing platform so far. It had its drawbacks. I mean, you can't just, take it out on the water. You can't just buy it and take it out on the water. You have to buy the extra rails to put your gear on and to, just fit everything out on it. It does have a lot of deck space because it is flat. It's a flat platform. It's, like a paddleboard, sort of. But it is designed for fishing, and it does have the fin drive. So I had that Hobie Lynx probably the longest of that, and the Outback, I think, were the two that I held on to the longest. And then earlier this year, I got the opportunity, both Cyberyaker and I got the opportunity to go up to Dallas to Mariner Sales and test drive the prototype of a brand new kayak design. It was a brand new concept, brand new company. And that was really cool. We got to do a couple of, short videos on it, but we weren't allowed to say anything about it at the time. They had not officially launched it yet. And so they launched it at Bassmasters earlier this year. And the company is VoyaX. And the kayak that we got to try the prototype on was the Mosso 128. That is an amazing platform. I did ultimately get to try out the prototype. Not for very long, but long enough to know that this is a kayak that I want. Fast forward again to ICAST in Florida. Cyberyaker got invited to ICAST by VoyaX, which was really awesome. So I went along for the ride. Why not? I got to hang out at the hotel for a couple of days and just relax. But so we got a chance to not only try out the kayak, the Mosso 128, but we also got to talk to the engineers, the designers, and all of these guys who were involved in creating this thing. And they are one of the most amazing groups of people who I've met. They know fishing, they know kayaks, they know engineering and technology and all this stuff. They have built what I believe is going to be my favorite kayak platform ever. So I sold the Lynx back in July. As soon as we got back from ICAST, I thought, you know what? I'm getting one of these. They're coming out in September and I want one. So I thought, it's going to take me a little while to sell the Lynx. So I'll go ahead and put it out on the market and, I'll still have something to use for a while. It sold in 24 hours. Okay, so just so you know, you can't get Lynxes right now. They stopped production for 2026. They're going to relaunch it in 2027. And it is a really great platform, but you just can't get it right now. So this thing sold in 24 hours for my asking price. Good news. Bad news is now I'm a month and a half, I'm hoping only a month and a half, maybe 2 months, without a kayak. So I have not been fishing. I have no content out there, but I do plan on doing a whole, this is my journey with the VoyaX Mosso 128. And I want to do this for a few reasons. So yes, it is going to be a brand new kayak. Very few people have it right now, and it's still going to be so new. There aren't going to be a lot of people out there with video content on it, and I want to share that with you. I also want to share my journey because I have not used electronics on a kayak before. I have never used a fish finder. I've never used spot lock, none of this stuff. So all of this is going to be a big learning curve for me. And so I want to share that journey from somebody who's a total novice. And, for anybody else out there who's relatively new to kayaks or kayak fishing or like me, you've never used any of the electronics on your kayak, I want to share what I experience and what I discover with all of you. So that said, my kayak is on order. They are supposed to be shipping the first batch out in September. I don't know when in September. I'm keeping my fingers crossed that it is really early in September, but I will keep you posted on all that. I'll hope to do a couple of shorts between now and then. The trailer is ready. It's sitting there half empty. It has Cyberyaker's kayak on it, and then this one big lonely spot where my kayak used to exist and now it doesn't. So stay tuned for the adventure, and we are going to have a lot of fun with this VoyaX Muscle 128.